in front of the people of India, even a huge Bahubali like Mr. Narendra Modi is a Lilliput. In everything, I found them very, very incompetent. Their competence is only to divide the country and create rift between communities. Look at immediately after they came back to power, they started proceeding against Jaagrathayude Keraleeyam.
Yes.
What does it mean? It means don't think that we are weak, we are strong. They want to project it that way. If there is one very important message in the election result, that the people of India have told the Prime Minister and the ruling party, we are fed up with this kind of a Hindu-Muslim divisive agenda. Which means that the people of India, okay, you built a temple, we're devotees. But devotees of Ram doesn't mean we vote for BJP and this kind of a politics. I've been saying that if these people come back to power, every state is in danger of turning into Manipur. That's what I used to say. And you see, after the election is over, after the Prime Minister is sworn in, instead of going to Manipur, they went to Italy.
Hello everyone. Today we have a special guest, Indian political economist and social commentator, Dr. Parakala Prabhakar. He has been a strong critic of Modi regime and he continues to be so. Today he is with us to discuss the post-Lok Sabha election scenario in India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Let me begin with something remarkable that we all feel about you. We know that last 10 years, Modi regime has been trying all the attempts to cripple down all the dissenting voices. At the same time, you emerged as a bold, independent, outspoken critic of Hindutva politics and Modi regime. And your book, The Crooked Timber of New India, comes out, and this stunning book was widely read and discussed. And you used almost every platform to express your views. Could you please share us what was the driving force behind your uncompromising critic or voice of dissent in our tough times?
Shivraj, when the Modi government took over, I thought we should give it a chance. Because you see, it came at a time when the UPA too was mired in a lot of corruption allegations.
Correct.
And there was a feeling that there was policy paralysis and a lot of black money stacked in abroad, Switzerland and all that. And Mr. Modi marketed himself as a very progressive, very forward-looking chief minister who changed the face of Gujarat. And there was Gujarat model, everybody was talking about development. And everybody thought that, he would extend that kind of a development agenda to the entire country and also end corruption, policy paralysis and all that. So, although I was aware that Gujarat model actually was more of a marketing than really what is happening there.
Right.
Because I was very clear. I've been watching Gujarat also. The roads were bad, the farmers had a lot of distress, a lot of unemployment, and the marginalized sections have not received any attention of the government.
Right.
But then a lot of people were very hopeful. So I thought, let us give it a chance. So I watched. I did not immediately criticize. But then, my suspicion about the Modi regime started with demonetization. Demonetization was the point where I thought, look, this regime does not have a clear idea of the economy. Where are they dragging the country to? And an economy which progressed very well during the UPA too also, it was suddenly shot in the foot. It slowed down. Then one after the other, all the uh, different programs that Modi as the Prime Minister announced, like Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Stand Up India, Swachh Bharat and all that. Then slowly and slowly I noticed they were merely slogans.
Nothing actually happens on the ground.
Nothing actually happened on the ground. So demonetization 2016, and then all these programs, just announcement, and some kind of headline management. There was a huge function to announce the program, but after the announcement is done, and if the after the television and the newspapers have carried headlines, then nothing happens on the ground. So then I started growing suspicious about it. Then, of course, the the kind of pitch in 2014 that all the prime ministers have contributed a lot to this country, and we should work as a team India.
Yes. It was not Modi.
Prime Minister and all the chief ministers for
Yes,
Team
yes,
India.
yes, yes.
That used to be the starting point. But then slowly and slowly that became only Modi. It was initially an NDA government, then it was talked about as BJP government. After that, neither NDA nor BJP, it was Modi government.
Yeah.
So then I grew suspicious about this. Then I started examining. And that was when I started, that this government is not good for the country. So I started my attack.
So that is maybe that was the part of that. Maybe finally you said Modi and his team is staggeringly incompetent, not only in economic issues or policies, but in the entire administration. Maybe
That is true. That is true. In everything to do with administration, policy, implementation, conception of policy, and their vision for India, in everything I found them very, very incompetent. Their competence is only to divide the country
yeah,
and create rift between communities and summon all the uh, you know different kind of fault lines, because India is a vast country
right.
with a lot of diversity, language, caste, religion, region, everything. So a leader, a statesman should see that all the people across all these fault lines are integrated. They all have a sense of this country is mine, irrespective of religion, irrespective of language, region. But Modi administration started summoning the fault lines, hatred.
Right.
So that is where I thought people should be warned about this.
And in an interview to Karan Thapar, you said Modi is a dictator and his comeback would be a disaster for India and he'll be dragging India back to the dark ages. Now, after the election, he has got a third term. So, how do you analyze your situation now based on this statement?
You see, he has very strong dictatorial autocratic tendencies. My feeling is that for Mr. Modi to change and become a democrat, carrying everybody along with him, taking the alliance partners and their views into consideration,
Even opposition.
opposition, I think in my mind that is very difficult. It is a complete changeover of a personality. In other words, if you think it is possible for Mr. Modi to become like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, then it's a different thing. But I see very little possibility of Mr. Modi becoming Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
So now, even they have technically won, we can say that Modi has been defeated in a way. So he's not going to learn anything from this defeat or his mistakes that he committed in the past. There is no possibility that we can see.
Shivraj, what I feel is a mature politician or a mature organization does not hide vulnerabilities. They acknowledge the vulnerabilities, acknowledge the weakness, acknowledge the limitations, and try to adjust to the limitations and vulnerabilities. Somebody who is immature, somebody who is very insecure within, they would try to pretend that there are no vulnerabilities, there are no limitations. Even though you had very less number, you still tend to project that you've won it and all that kind of a thing. That is what is happening now. Therefore, look at immediately after they came back to power, they started proceeding against Arundhati Roy.
Yes.
What does it mean? It means don't think that we are weak, we are strong. They want to project it that way.
It's the message for all the dissenting voices,
Isn't
right?
it? So instead of learning the lesson from the writing on the wall, that the people have rejected you, they reprimanded you. To me, it was a tight slap on the face of the Prime Minister and the ruling party and the government. So instead of acknowledging that and proceeding with a bit more of caution,
Yes.
taking everybody together, listening to people. It's not just one-way man ki baat.
Yeah.
But the people of India have revealed their man ki baat. So instead of acknowledging that, he is proceeding in the same old way.
No place for Jan Ki Baat.
Yes, that's very, very dangerous actually, because you see, we are a country with lots of voices, lots of diversity, lots of languages, lots of regions, and we have a huge, long tradition of tolerance.
Right.
Now that this dispensation wants to completely destroy. If there is one very important message in the election results, if you ask me what it is, I would say that the people of India have told the Prime Minister and the ruling party, we are fed up with this kind of a Hindu-Muslim divisive agenda. Please stop this. Come back. Come back and apply your mind to unemployment, price rise, rural distress, farmers' problems, agricultural problems. You apply your mind to this, devote your time to this, not divisive politics. That is the clear lesson, clear message delivered by the people of India.
I think this message clearly came from, especially from Faizabad, where Ayodhya is included.
Absolutely. You see, that was the battleground. They pinned a lot of hopes on Faizabad,
Right.
Ayodhya, Ram Mandir, Pran Pratishtha, and Ram Lalla, and all that. So what happened? Which means that the people of India, okay, you built a temple, we're devotees. But
Yeah.
devotees of Ram doesn't mean we vote for BJP and this kind of a politics.
And don't politicize the religion, right?
That is the message. And if Mr. Modi and his party refuse to see the writing on the wall, then they are going to be in difficulty. Shubharaj, you remember, I've been saying that if these people come back to power, every state is in danger of turning into Manipur. That's what I used to say. And you see, after the election is over, after the Prime Minister is sworn in, instead of going to Manipur, they went to Italy.
Yeah.
You're not even a member, you're just a guest there. You're only onlooker, you're in the gallery. But your priority should have been to restore peace in Manipur and to instill confidence in the people of Manipur.
Right.
That has not been done. So this somehow is not the right beginning for a government.
Yeah. And also before the elections, you had made a statement. It would take years to rectify the damage that this regime has done to the cultural fabric of our country. So now they have come back to power. If they had not, we would have some hope that the new government could do some measures, civil society could work out, progressive movements could do something else. Now, when they are in power again, we can't expect some kind of change or the damage to rectify the damage. There is no scope at all, right? What do you think now?
No, there is, Shivaraj, there is a scope. Civil society has to stand up.
Okay.
The government will, of course, they try to muzzle dissenting voices. They would like to spread communal hatred. They would like to divide people. They would, again talk about Hindu Muslim, and they talk about Gyanavapi, they talk about Mathura, they talk about Ayodhya, they talk about uniform civil code, they talk about CAA, they talk about NRC. All these things they do talk about. But you see, it is more than the political parties. It is the civil society which has to confront the government, which has to halt the government from doing this. Another thing, Shivraj, many people miss this, is that this election was not a fight between political parties, ruling party and opposition, ruling alliance and opposition alliance, Mr. Narendra Modi and one of the leaders of NDA. It's not that. To my mind, it is a fight between Mr. Modi and people of India. It is a fight between Bharatiya Janata Party and the people of India. It is the fight between NDA alliance and the people of India, not India alliance. India alliance is only a beneficiary of the fight that was mounted by the people of India.
Right.
It is the people of India who fought this election. Irrespective of whether the parties have functioned properly or not, whether they campaigned properly or not, whether electoral process and its integrity is actually what it should be or not. If you look at the election commission, look at the way it is conducted, look at the way it implemented the model code of conduct.
Right.
It just didn't do anything to the prime minister and all the hate speeches that his party had given.
Exactly.
Still, and it allowed the government to put two chief ministers behind bars just before the elections. Even then, it is the civil society, it is the people of India who fought this election. And I've been saying, and I would like to say it again to your viewers, that you see, in front of the people of India, even a huge Bahubali like Mr. Narendra Modi is a Lilliput. And a huge juggernaut, electoral juggernaut like the BJP with so much of resources, money and organization, even that huge organization also would look like a small toy car in front of the people of India. Even a formidable alliance, now it is 27 or 29 parties, like NDA, even that would look like headless chickens, directionless, in front of people of India. So that is what has come about. It's actually proved in this election that the people of India have rejected this kind of a politics.
And during the last 10 years, the federal system of our country had huge setback. Even the regime did not value the constitution. And we know that states like Kerala had to fight for their rights. And now there is an alliance. Now the BJP cannot rule without the support of its allies. So do you think that there will be some kind of change, or will they continue the same attitude towards the federal system of our country?
You see, they would like to, because that is in their DNA. Because they do not believe in a federal structure. They want this country to be a unitary country. One government, one leader, one party, one religion, one language, all that kind of a narrative. But because they don't have strength, they depend upon two important regional leaders and regional parties. Those regional parties will not allow the center under Narendra Modi or anybody to really ride roughshod over states. That's not possible anymore. They would like to do that, but then they will face a lot of resistance to this. That is my feeling.
So we know that in the past 10 years, they were almost successful in silencing people, dissenting voices, and also public. They could create a fear among the minds of people. But during the elections, we found that civil society emerged as as you mentioned, strong opposition, and lots of alternative media came out. So, do you think that, unlike the past, in the new uh, government time, if the government takes any serious steps against the constitutional values, against the federal system of a country, even against the interest of the marginalized sections, unlike the past, there will be a rise up in India from different part. What's your expectation?
You see, nothing is inevitable. People have to work on this. Civil society activists, organizations will have to continuously work on, these agendas. Uh, Now mainstream media has become like a wing of the government. It is almost like a DAVP, Directorate of Audiovisual Publicity kind of a thing. So it is the independent media, it is the social activists, it is the civil society organizations. They will have to go on working as they have been working, especially during the elections and run up to the elections. Another thing is that, the fight is not just to get some opposition MPs elected. Not, it's not limited to that. The fight and the work is to kind of take out, neutralize the poison of communalism that is injected into the minds of people. That should be the agenda. Once that, see, that is the poison is the one which is somehow or the other generating support for them. Otherwise, it's not possible. Somehow, they have slowly spread this message that Christians have their own countries, Muslims have their own countries.
They have Pakistan.
What is wrong with the Hindus having a country? Now that is a very, very wrong narrative as far as India is concerned, because we are founded, our founding values, our constitutional values are India is everybody's. India is not owned by only Hindus. India is owned by everybody. Every religion, every caste, every region, every language has their own place and their own rights over the country, isn't it? So, slowly this narrative which has come about that, this country belongs to Hindus only and all others they can live here but they have to be subordinate to Hindus. That needs to be taken out of the minds of the people.
Okay. We also witnessed in the last 10 years the union government's stepmotherly attitude towards states like Kerala in allocating their central financial support for the states. And finally, they have to approach the court, they have to come to Delhi and protest. And even they are not getting the GST dividend which they deserve. So, how this is going to, if this going to continue in this government also, so how you think that the states will have to again protest? What's the scope in front of the states like Kerala?
See, as I said, they are not happy with the federal structure. They want a unitary government. But because today, after the elections, they are dependent on two regional parties, without them, it's not possible for them to run the government. And the previous ways of riding roughshod over states and their rights, and especially the fiscal matters, that will be increasingly difficult because TDP or JDU, they would fight for their own rights, their own state governments.
Yes. They want special status.
Special status, and they want schemes to be implemented. They want more funds to be allocated from the center for maybe if you because I come from Andhra Pradesh, I can tell you Andhra Pradesh would like to have funds. AP government would like to have funds for Amravati construction, the capital construction. They would like to have funds for Polavaram. They would like to have funds for Vijayawada Metro. They would like to have funds for Vizag Metro. They would like to have a special railway zone, separate railway zone for headquartered in Vizag. All these demands are there. Similar demands are there for Bihar also. JDU also will press for them. Now, when these two states are pressing for these, they would like to have a better share of the national resources, national finances. When you are giving in to them their demands because they are the supporting parties, at the same time, you can't deny it to Kerala or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or Delhi or these states will have to also get that kind of a share. So it becomes increasingly difficult. Although I must say that BJP will try to maybe favor these two states and neglect the other states, saying that allow us double engine sarkar. If you elect our people, then you will also get something like that. This kind of a pressure they will put. But then the main solution to this is states should assert their constitutional rights. States should call out whenever there is a discrimination, whether it is in allocation of resources or their rights or finances or distribution, or even tomorrow, there could be a lot of changes in the delimitation,
Right.
which would marginalize the entire South Indian states on the basis of population.
Yeah. And, so what he suggests is the states, especially southern states, should not be just demanding their financial requirements, but also asserting that they should ensure that federal system of India prevails in our country.
That's right. That's very important. That's very important, and that kind of a pressure will have to be continued on the central government.